What's going on, everyone? It's Nick Dorenzo here, and recently I've been really listening to my intuition, listening to the higher self. Get what I feel like is God's message to you is your intuition, and I think that intuition is the secret to being in real alignment in your life and ultimately just being your best self. And this last year or two has been an extreme growth period of my life, like indescribable levels of growth. But there's been lots of battles mentally I've had to overcome. Like every single week, there's a new battle. But I'm always conquering it, and I'm always getting to the next level. When it comes to just being the best version of yourself, when you're trying to grow physically, mentally, spiritually, just really just become someone that no one in your area has become, or no one around you is becoming, and people are telling you can't be, you're going to have to go against what makes other people quit. You're going to have to get through what the old you used to give up for. Like, every single time I feel like it's stressful or it's hard or I just want to give up on what I'm doing, I always remind myself how the version of myself a week ago, the version of myself 2 weeks ago, the version of myself a month ago would have given up. So the new highest self of me doesn't quit. He doesn't give up. He doesn't fall short. And I really think if you're not aligned with this highest self, if you're not aligned with God's calling for you, if you're not aligned with your purpose, you're going to experience so many symptoms as a byproduct of misalignment. These things can come up in so many different ways. Me personally, you guys know my story. I talk about it a lot. I had derealization, 24/7 derealization for nearly 4 years, and it was to the point to where I never thought I was going to get my life back. Crazy visual symptoms. I lost lots of friends, relationships because of it. So many different ways in my life it was impacted because of the fact that nothing felt real for me. And I'm trying to find the date of this, but there was a day when I was doing super well, and all of a sudden I was at football practice. I was at football practice, and I had a crazy, you could say panic attack. Well, I didn't even know what a panic attack was at the time, but crazy visual symptoms came on out of nowhere. All right, this was months after I think I had a panic attack from weed. But I was just doing normal. I was having so much fun. At that point in my life, it was a really good period of my life. I was fucking dancing to music at practice, living life, and all of a sudden, I don't know what went off, but visual symptoms stormed my field of vision. I thought I was going to pass out. So I went to the trainer, and I was like, hey, I feel like I'm going to pass out. I don't know what's going on. So they thought it was like my blood sugar or something. So they gave me a protein bar and some Gatorade. Did nothing. So I told my coach, I was like, I gotta go. I feel like I'm about to pass out. So I ran. I didn't even tell anyone. I think I just ran all the way up to, the steps where you get picked up, like where the cars are. And I was like calling for my mom. I was like, please pick me up. Please pick me up. I don't know what's happening. I'm about to pass out. So I was like laying there like I was gonna pass out. Got picked up, drove me home. I was chugging Gatorades. Chugging Gatorades, trying to figure out what's going to happen. They were telling me to drink this, drink that, take this. Like, why are you about to pass out? So I ended up going to the emergency room, okay? And I remember I was looking at my phone and shit, and the words on my phone were moving like I was high or tripping. It was the craziest experience. This was I was completely sober at the time and all that. So this time, I didn't know what was going on. And it was the scariest moment of my life. And it's looking back at it, that's what first triggered my DPDR, right? That happened, and I was in this state to where nothing felt real. All that kind of came on after as a byproduct of that. Extreme anxiety. I was stuck in this loop. I had all the thoughts. But I look back and I'm like, why was I in that state? Why did I feel that way? Why did I have those different things in life? Why did all these things happen to me? And why did I have to go through that? Why me? Out of all people, why did Nick Dorenzo have to deal with that shit? And it's because my goals, my ambitions, the things I wanted to do with my life were so much greater than the day-to-day life I was living. The habits, the person I was, the laziness, just the values I had, the perspective I had on life, my distant relationship with God, all were reasons why I went through that. And so many people like to say, oh, this is bullshit. What's the scientific reason why I have DPDR? Yeah, you can say I have anxiety, I have stress, I have all these things. But the truth is, I think that's the bullshit. Yeah, you can have anxiety, stress, you can have all these things. You can have all the science behind DPDR, teach all of that. But the real reason you experience any of these things at all is because you're misaligned with the greatest, highest version of yourself, with God's calling, saying to you, hey, you need to fix your shit. You got something that's misaligned with the person that you were meant to become. And so many times in life, you will deny that. You will deny that these things are happening for you. You'll sit there in this coping mindset. But I guarantee, if you can push through this, if you can make it past this, if you can continue to move on in life, you'll look back and be like, man, I would have never became the person that I am if I didn't go through this. So when I stand here, I'm saying, like, I went through those things in order to go live the life I have. So let me kind of continue with my story. So what happened was I lived in this state on and off. You know, I mean, it was on and off. It was 24/7 for years. But there was periods where I tried to get out, and then there were periods where I just gave up and I would go back to weed, shrooms, all the shit. Like, I just didn't even care anymore at some points. I just thought that was my life. And then there was one point in my life where I dropped all of my vices. It's when I was abusing my ADHD medication, but I had this inspiration from it, actually. It gave me motivation to try different things. So I quit all my vices, and I decided that I'm never going to go back. This is when I quit porn for the first time in my life. I think the first time I ever actually went more than 2 weeks on, like, semen retention, you call it. Don't mean anything less for my life. I think I went over, like, I counted days on this first one just cause. I went like 230 days without giving in any lust at all. It was the craziest discipline I've ever had. I started waking up at 4 a.m. Never missed one workout, never missed one meal, never missed my protein once, never missed my water intake, never missed my sleep. I mean, I would get less sleep, but I'd never miss my wake up time. Like, I was so locked in. I would meditate. I had like hour-long meditations. I was so dialed in. I'd pray every single day. I read the Bible. I'm sure I fell short at times, but there was something that ignited within me. It was like all the energy that I put into the other shit, all the energy that I put into destroying my life got transmuted. The gym is a transmutation. It's a transmuter. Self-improvement, it's a transmuter. You put all that negative energy and you transfer that into something positive. Lust, sexual energy, I put that all into something, and I finally started loving who I was in any way at all. Like, by no means at this point was I doing great, like incredibly great, but there was days to where, even though I had DPDR, I was so confident with who I was. My camera just ran out, but as I was saying, I was so confident with who I was at this point, or at least somewhat. Like, I felt like I at least had something to give to the world. And this is where I found, my mentor currently. I joined a fitness coaching, you could say program. It was like a school community group. And everyone in the group was waking up at 4 a.m., dialing in. And it was the environment that I surrounded myself with that really allowed me to change my perspective on life. I saw everyone's ambition. I saw what was possible. I saw that I wasn't even crazy. Because when I gave up all my vices, the new perspective that I unlocked from that was something I had no one could relate to me with. Like, I truly had no one to relate to. And it made me feel trapped at times. It made me feel broken at times. It made me feel alone. And I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of friends. The whole last year, I dropped. It was when I graduated high school and everything, and I dropped everyone. I mean, I didn't necessarily drop. I just grew apart because I wanted all these things, and everyone around me was giving into every single vice possible. Had no direction, just wanted to settle for an average life, and I wanted more. Like, I wanted more. I want so much more than the norm. The norm, like, it's either be successful or die trying. It's being the best version of myself or die trying. There is no average. I don't want average. And this period of my life, there's just something that I can't physically just be like everyone else. And growing up, I was always so, like, insecure about just the person I was. And at the end of the day, like, I realized, like, I won't be able to be, I wouldn't have this discipline and this motivation, you could say, to conquer life the way I do now if it wasn't for the struggle. But during this isolation, all I did was self-improvement, grind. And I started I started meeting people that were closer to my perspective. I flew out to Miami, like-minded people, and it gave me this whole new perspective on life. And during that time, the life I was doing became so much bigger than DPDR, then the realization, then the anxiety I was feeling. And I back to the intuition concept, because that was the whole point of this video. Throughout this whole period, I was just following my intuition. That's all it was, and that's what I feel like. God is speaking with you. He's talking to you through your intuition. You have to follow what He's telling you to do in order to be in true alignment. And there is no words for it. It's a feeling. So to this day, when I'm off my path, I feel like shit. I feel stressed. I feel, and I have to realign, and then I'm good. But when you get off your shit, you have to realign, or you're going to be stressed. So during this time, there would be periods where I fall. I remember even during my self-improvement journey, I still had times where I was falling back into lust. I was researching on Reddit. I mean, I would try every single supplement thinking I was going crazy. There was times to where I would avoid situations. I remember when the first time I went to hang out with my friends after a few months of just isolation, locking in, the DPDR hit me so bad, even when I was locked in. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not recovered? Why am I not in true alignment? And it's because I wasn't in true alignment yet. I wasn't in true alignment. There's always something. And I realized, I want to be successful. I'm putting off my business opportunity. So then I started fitness coaching. My goal was to, do all the fitness coaching. This is kind of what I'm doing now in a sense, but help people get into shape. Now, this doesn't really go well. I had a few clients ever, but I wanted to be authentic and I wanted to actually help people, right? I was like, what have I done? What have I overcame? So then at this point, the DPDR started getting better and better because I had all the fitness coaching shit that flood my brain, and I wasn't really thinking about DPDR as much. But then it was still there, and I was like, what do I need to do to get rid of it? And the only thing that got me to get out of it was when I actually started being on purpose. When I kept following that intuition. When I kept following the guided thing. Because I was like, as soon as I knew mentally, I knew God was telling me, as soon as I become in alignment, as soon as I unlock the person I know I can become, as soon as I show Him that, okay, I'm done from that life, as soon as I said I'm officially never smoking again, never doing any of these vices again, then I'd be free. And as soon as I accepted that I was no longer that old identity, that I was no longer attached to that old person, as soon as I was okay with that, as soon as I was fine with doing that and not stringing back to that old person, I knew I'd be free. And it wasn't instant, guys. It wasn't instant. A lot of you guys were like, did you just spawn into your own body? Sure, sometimes it makes it seem like that way. For me, I just forgot about it. At the end of the day, I forgot about the anxiety. I forgot about these misalignment symptoms. Why? Because I was aligned. It becomes like a forgotten memory. When you become aligned with the best version of you, it becomes a forgotten memory. Guys, we were all put on earth with our own God-given credo, with our own purposes, with our own skills, with our own things that we can do but other people can't, or I can do but you can't. And it's up for you to find your own thing. I'm telling you, the gym might not be for you. I've had people recover without going to the gym. This might not be for you. This might not be for you. Maybe partying's for you. Probably not. But to be honest with you guys, it's up for you to find what is the alignment within your life. And if you can be aligned with that human being, with that person, with that higher self, you will get there. But it won't happen unless you listen to your highest self. Unless you actually open up your ears and understand that God is speaking to you through your highest self, talking to you, telling you that you're misaligned. If you don't understand that these symptoms are more than just science bullshit, that they're more than just, oh, I need to fix it. No, it's not that bullshit. What it is, these symptoms are stemming from your inability to live up to the person that you yourself, sitting here watching this video right now, is supposed to be living. And if you're still experiencing this to the day, you need to figure out what you're doing wrong. Now, as of recent, if I want to go into some misalignments recently, boom, I can go into it. Last month, my physique's getting better now. I'm starting to get shredded again. But there was a period to where I was so locked in on the business, I was so locked in on helping people, I was so locked in on doing my shit, that physique started getting worse, right? Physique started getting worse. Just gaining fat, thinking I was eating super healthy, but I was just stress eat at night or things like that. And I realized, then I started to feel more stressed because my physique was falling off. What else? I started to, anything you do is everything you do. So my other habits are, my standard's so high that Any bit of misalignment makes me feel like absolute shit. So I started waking up at 7, 8:30, 9 o'clock some days. Ridiculous. I was still helping people, but I was like, damn, I gotta practice what I preach. So as soon as I moved that to wake up time back to 6 a.m., which I've been doing, for weeks, months now, every single day. Like it was only a few weeks I was less aligned. But as soon as I got back on alignment, every single aspect of my life is aligned, and I feel way less stressed, way better. Now, as of today, I feel like my intuition's guiding me for every decision. As of today, the misalignment could be the fact that I'm going right off the dome these videos. The misalignment today, I felt more stressed today, so I decided to make a video on under the emotion. I felt less in line today. And the reason I feel that way is because I felt like I was getting a signal from my content from God that I wasn't in alignment with the content that I should be making. I felt like my DPDR Instagram reels were getting repetitive. I felt like all these things were repetitive, and I felt like they weren't authentic enough to how I feel right now. And because of that, there's a misalignment. And I find that signal, and I align myself, and it goes, and I don't experience DPDR and anxiety anymore, but still stress can rise because I'm a human being, right? And when that stress does arise, I align myself. Now, the whole point of this video and the whole message I'm trying to get out to you guys is like, no matter where you're at in life, no matter how shitty you feel, no matter what's going on, no matter how good you feel, you will be tested. You will have signals. You will have stress. You will feel like shit some days, and it's because you aren't aligned. If you're in true alignment, you wake up before the alarm. You're energetic. You feel incredible. You feel good. Like, that is what true alignment feels like. So if you can embody that alignment, it's impossible to have anxiety. It's impossible to have derealization. Trust me. Figure it out. Figure it out yourself. Figure it out yourself. You can do anything you want to do in this life. Now, moving forward, I know my intuition has a life. Because if you can conceive and believe a version of yourself that exists, that is living proof within itself that that person already exists, you just have to bring it to life. And I know moving forward, the visions I have for myself. I'm going to move to Miami this year or next year. Months from now, I'm going on a trip soon. I'm going to be around other successful people. I'm going to help as many people as possible. I'm going to do all this because I know that that is in alignment with my goals and my virtues and the things that I want to do with my life. I can feel the intuition. What you need for yourself is purpose, and it's something that you're chasing after. Me having that goal in front of me, me knowing where I'm going to live, the way I'm going to act, the way I'm going to talk, speak, walk, shows me direction. And to be 100% real with you guys, there is no such thing as being your highest self. I talk about my program a lot. It's called highest self, but there's no such thing as being your highest self. You chase your highest self. And not knowing if you don't know anything about your highest self or what this person looks like, it's nearly impossible to actually chase the best version of you. So what I do now is I know what the best version of myself is going to do in a year from now. He's going to live in Miami. He's going to be jacked. He's going to be tan. He's going to be really in shape, right? He's going to be very confident in himself. Probably be in a relationship of some sort. He's going to have changed the world in DPDR recovery. He's going to be helping so many people's lives. Relationship with God there. Every aspect of my life is going to be attained. As long as I'm chasing those things and the things that are going to make me feel fulfilled and be able to help as many people as possible, I'm in alignment. If you guys don't have purpose right now, if you don't have a path, if you don't know where you're headed in life, close your eyes right now. Sit here, close your eyes, and imagine the greatest, highest, best version of yourself. How does this person walk, talk, act, live, move, speak, everything, every single thing you want to go into? Really dial it in, write it down, every single aspect of this person. And then write down every single thing that is stopping you from being in line with this person, okay? And then write down every single thing that you need to do to get to this person. And create a plan that is going to get you in alignment. And if you stick to this plan, you heard my story, no matter what you're thrown with, no matter, there was points in my life, guys, like, I don't think I talk about my story enough just because I'm out of the emotion. During what I went through, I had the most extreme existential thoughts that I literally couldn't even live. Crazy, I could barely talk to people. My social anxiety was extreme. All these symptoms came on from my misalignment. But I kept pushing and I kept embodying, and now I can live mentally free, knowing that I'm chasing a person. A lot of times the answers, the intuition is going to be unclear at first, but if you take action, if you push past your edge, if you always seek discomfort, regardless of how you feel, God will show you. He'll show you the person that you could become. He'll show you a desire. And that desire is your higher self speaking to you, telling you, hey, this is what is possible. You just need to work towards it. So with that being said, we all are here chasing our higher selves. You know, we're all here to become the best version of you. And I feel like the purpose on earth is to be the best version of yourself. Because if you don't treat yourself, if you don't make yourself better, it's hard and nearly impossible to help anyone else. So that being said, go out and chase your highest self. If you guys want to connect with me on Instagram, DM me. First link in the bio, just DM me Freedom on Instagram. We can have a conversation, see if you're a good fit. But at the end of the day, guys, anxiety, derealization, all these symptoms are nothing more than symptoms of misalignment and a byproduct of the fact that you aren't chasing the best version of you. So go out and chase that person. Figure it out, find it out. Let's get it.